Welcome to another Flip video lesson. Today's lesson is going to be about the society of the northern and southern states in the 1800s. Society, loosely defined, is a group of people who live together with a shared culture. Today's lesson and the next Flip video will be for lesson 19.8 and 19.9. Please remember that this video is for educational purposes. Make sure that you pause it. If there's anything you need to jot down for your notes, which brings me to my next point, and that you should be taking notes with the outline I gave or jotting down key facts in your notebook. Let's begin, shall we? For today's video, we're going to focus first on the Southern States Society in the 1800s. And before we get into more depth into everything, I want to look at and show you kind of the hierarchy of society with the Southern States. And what better way to do that than showing through a pyramid? On the very bottom of the society, in the minds of the people who lived in the Southern States in the 1800s, were the African Americans. Namely, those few that were free and the many, many African Americans that were slaves. They were at the very bottom, plus they made up a large portion of the population in the South. Next would be the white farmers who were very poor, who did not own slaves, and who barely just made enough to get by. Followed by the white Americans who lived on small to medium farms and owned some slaves. And at the very top, which would also be the smallest group of people in the South, would be the wealthy plantation owners. That's kind of how the social structure went in the Southern States. And I want you to take a look here at this map. And I encourage you just even to pause the video just for a few moments. This map actually shows the slave population in the Southern States. The darker areas are counties that had lots of slaves, whereas the lighter areas are counties that had few slaves. This map, I believe, is in 1860, so kind of right in the middle of the 1800s. And it's very interesting to see where the large slave populations were. See if you can find a connection of where the majority of the slave populations were. I think you'll find it very interesting. Now, as we go through the next few slides about the Society of the North, I've split it up to look at men, women, and slaves. The next two slides are going to focus on the men and their part in society in the Southern States. Now, we can split the men up into four main groups. And as we're going through these four main groups, I hope you notice that the wealth and power in the Southern States was put in the hands of only a few very wealthy individuals. Now, we're going to split these group of men into four groups. And instead of having me go through and explain each group, I brought a guest, and I haven't had a guest for a while in these flip videos. And this individual is going to come and he's going to talk about the group he was in, and he's going to talk about some of the other groups that lived in the Southern States during the 1800s. So give me a moment. I'm going to bring him into the classroom in front of my camera. One moment, please. All right. Are you ready there, sir? Why, yes, I am ready. I just got to get all situated. Oh, there we go. Mr. Volkman, thank you very much. I get this big comfy chair. All right. Hi there. Yeah. My name is Bartholomew, and as Mr. Volkman said, I'm going to be talking about the four groups that lived in the Southern States. And first off, I'm going to talk about the large planters. Now, us large planters, notice I said us, because I'm one of them. Us large planters had about 1,000 or more acres of land. That's a lot of land. However, there weren't a lot of us. There was only 0.75% of large planters in all of the Southern States. In 1860, there were only 11,000 of us. So not a lot of us owned that much land. Yeah, not very much at all. Us rich men like that, we owned 50 or more slaves. That's going to end up being more than 25% of all the slaves lived in our big plantations, because we need a lot of slaves to work that much land, Mr. Volkman. Now, us rich large planters controlled the most social and political power in the Southern States. Money talks. We also believe that We shouldn't do the manual labor. There's no way we should be rolling our sleeves up and getting these pretty hands dirty. See no mud on this face. No, we believe that we should have a life of leisure. We should be telling people what to do because, if I had suspenders, I'd be going like this. I mean, we're wealthy. We don't get our hands dirty. We're the boss. That's why we have slaves to do all that, and even other white guys to be in charge of those slaves and to whip them into shape. Now, there was another group underneath us. That would be the planters. Now, planters had about 100 to 1,000 acres of land. They made up about 3% of the population of the southern states. So a lot more than us large, wealthy planters. They had about 20 to 49 slaves on their plantations or farms. So that's about half of all southern slaves lived there. So they had a little bit more. There were more slaves living in these plantations. They did have political leaders, and they did control wealth. So us large planters and these other planters, with our wealth, we kind of ran things in the southern states. Because again, ka-ching, ka-ching, money talks. Now I'm going to talk about the lower two groups, and yeah, they're not quite as important as us large planters and those other planters I had discussed. We have these small slaveholders. This made up about 20% of the population in the southern states. So that's quite a few getting up there. They had fewer than 20 slaves. Most actually owned only 4 to 6 slaves. They didn't own a lot of land, these small slaveholders, so they didn't need a lot of slaves to do work for them. These gentlemen were mainly farmers. They didn't have cash crops like cotton and the few that had tobacco. They were just farmers, and they made exactly what they needed. They lived in log cabins. They didn't live in the big houses like I showed on the previous slide. Now, finally, we had those gentlemen who didn't have slaves. And they made up actually 75% of the South's population. So there was a lot of people who didn't have any slaves. They mainly raised corn, and they just barely made enough food. What they grew, they didn't have enough to sell like any of us other men and families that owned slaves. However, you might find this interesting, Mr. Volkman. Even though they didn't have slaves, they still held a very supreme attitude against slaves. Very negative. They looked down on slaves. You see, we had this idea that as slaves were way below us. They did the hard, dirty work. And so these guys held a lot of resentment against slaves because they didn't have any. One other thing I want to bring up, Mr. Volkman, and then I'll give this contraption back to you to teach your students. And this is what I want to tell you, Mr. Volkman, this idea of the American dream that all men in the southern states held. And there were 3 things we dreamed of. That was to own our own land. And in that land, we wanted to produce cotton. And if you lived in the more northern part of the southern states, like Virginia or Maryland, it may be to grow tobacco. And lastly, it was to have slaves. That was every southern man's dream. Well, most southern men's dream. That was their American dream. You see, you couldn't become rich like me if you didn't have these 3 things. There was no way to move up socially or economically to be as important and as popular and as powerful if you didn't have these 3 things. Mr. Volkman, it's important for you to remember. I'm going to leave so you can come back on the computer. Thank you. Well, thank you, Bartholomew, for that. It was very enlightening, if not slightly kind of scary. Lots of power there. But Bartholomew was really right about all that, for sure. Let's move on now and talk about another group, and that would be the women in the southern states. Now, southern culture, as you might have guessed from Bartholomew, held that the males had the ultimate authority. They really had the man of the house had the final say. Women were supposed to host parties, and they were supposed to care for the home. This quote here is a quote I found that came out in about the mid-1800s or so, and it truly gives a good glimpse and view into how women were viewed and into what people thought they should be doing with their time. It is better to perfect all those feminine graces, all those fascinating attitudes which render her, the woman, the center of attraction. I want you to take a moment, pause the video, and even reread this quote and think about what is this author, more likely this man, saying a woman should do with her time. I hope you're pausing the video, otherwise you're just staring at me. That's kind of boring. Yeah, just pause the video, read the quote. Okay, did you? Did you pause the video? Okay. If you're thinking that most men, and maybe even some women, thought that a woman's time should be spent beautifying or acting in a ladylike manner, you are definitely correct. However, the reality of women was this. First off, there was huge trauma in childbirth, as there still is nowadays. As you can probably ask your own mothers or grandmothers or aunts or anyone who has kids. They're expected to have big families. Not good medicine back then, so a lot of children would have died. So you want to have a big family. You're going to have a lot of kids because you know kids are going to die. And that in itself is a harsh reality. Having children die would not be a fun experience. Women also married early in life, but a lot of times they would have died early as well. Not a very long lifespan. There was also a huge sense of loneliness on a plantation, and that was because there was not a lot of access for a woman, for other women in other plantations. And this here is a map of some of the plantation plats or areas. I believe that this is in Texas or Alabama in the mid-1800s. And some of these areas are thousands of acres. I mean, that's a massive amount of land. So if your plantation is like right here, let's say on top of this little I, and the next plantation maybe is by this I, and the other plantation's by this S here, that could take hours upon hours to travel. So women did not get to see each other very much. So they were very lonely. And finally, women were not educated very much. Boys were sent to school to a certain point, and then when they kind of outgrew their tutors or whatever schooling they went to, they went off to military academy. Whereas women were left at home to train to be a wife and a mother. That was kind of their part in the Southern life. The last group I want to talk about, and then this video will be over, is about the slaves in the Southern states. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth in this slide about that because future flip videos are going to go very much in depth about the slaves' life in the Southern states. So I just want to leave you with a few of these nuggets of truth. First off, there were some free slaves. About 3% of the African Americans in the South were considered free, but 3% is only about 120,000. Consider that in 1860 there were 4 million slaves. So if you're an African American in the South, more than likely you were a slave. And in some states, there were more slaves than whites. The free slaves the people that were free, mainly lived in the upper part of the southern states, like Virginia, Kentucky, Maryland. However, they were legally and socially restricted with what they could do. They definitely couldn't vote. Most of them were tenant farmers, or they were laborers, so they did not own their own land. 75% of slaves lived on plantations or medium farms. 10% did physical labor that was seen as below whites. So that's like very menial labor. Thank you for sticking with this flip video. I know this is a lot longer than the ones in the past, but we had a lot to talk about when it came to the society in the southern states. And remember, society is a group of people that live together with a shared culture, a shared set of beliefs. So now you'll know a little bit about the culture and the beliefs of those men and women who lived in the southern states. Don't forget to check Edmodo for tonight's homework. And hey, I'll see you in class.